Do-rag wisdom here. And here's my question. Will Flynngate finally destroy the Putinian candidate Trump? I don't know. Because in this day and age, we have partisan politics. We have fanatic, extremist politics. We have a party, the Democrats, that's so wishy-washy and so controlled by corporatists that has lost its way worse than Alice in Wonderland. And we have an extremist party, an extremist Republican Party, filled with the worst kind of slime and scum you can imagine, that want to do nothing less but to take our country and turn it into a totalitarian, corporate, religious extremist hell. There are some Republicans, I'm sure, like John McCain, and I don't forgive him for all the shit he put Obama through, but John McCain could be one of the hopes, see. Now, let's answer this question about Flynn, and it's come out, of course, that this Mike Flynn, this Islamophobic, racist turd, had been in contact with the Russians during the campaign, and right at the time that Obama put the sanctions on the Russians for their dabbling in our election. Okay? So there was Flynn violating the Logan Act, getting in touch with these creeps in Russia, with the Putins, with the totalitarians, to undermine our election. Now, the birther bastard, the Putin candidate, the Putin puppet candidate Trump, if it wasn't for the New York Times and the Washington Post and all the leaks coming out of this shithouse, I don't want to call it the White House, it's the shithouse, Flynn would have stayed in. We would have known nothing about him. If it wasn't for these leaks and with the heroics of our free press, Flynn would still be in there contaminating our democratic republic. Now, one of the other things I heard, of course, is that there are other aides that were overheard, because, there's surveillance. Other aides in the Trump campaign who were in touch with the Russians, who were in touch with these scum. So everything is out there. But of course, the Trump administration is saying it was not a crime. It was a defamation of trust. I don't believe anything that comes out of the Trump administration, the birther bastard, the murderer. Anything that comes out of there is a lie. Spicer, Kellyanne Conway, himself, it's all a lie. A very horrific lie. I mean, this is their way, the GOP's way of destroying our federal government, turning it against us and making us hate it. The federal government's supposed to serve us. But the Republican Party will make sure it persecutes us so that they make us think that we are that the government is bad and that we should destroy it, along with the GOP who wants to destroy it. Okay, so here we are. Flynngate with a Putin candidate. We have indications that Vladimir Putin, according to reports I heard on MSNBC, The Last Word, that he specializes in destroying democratic republics or democracies. He specializes like a virus moving from one country to the next to destroy the democracy or the growing democracy in the country. And here is our country. And as they emphasized last night on MSNBC, and I've said many, many times, the Roman Empire lasted 500 years. We've only been around for a little over 240 years, and our experiment in democracy is still in its early phases. It's not later phases. We still have a long way to go before we become a complete democracy. Before you can become a complete democracy, you have to have a multi-party. So I sit here and I wonder, will Flynn bring down the birther Trump? Someone who knew about this guy for a year, for the last 3 weeks, knowing about all this growing scandal in Flynngate, he did nothing. He said nothing. And who knows how much more corruption is in his cabinet? I am not surprised, because I know the birther bastard. And then we have him sitting in Mar-a-Lago. The third week in a row he's gone down there for a little vacation. Imagine if Obama had done that. Right? And he's sitting there with the Japanese prime minister and finds out about this North Korean missile test. And right in front of everybody at dinner, he's having a briefing. People with their cell phones. Who knows who's working for him at Mar-a-Lago? Who knows how many spies are in there that are going to overcome us and disrupt us and destroy us because of this irresponsible moron that's in the presidency now? Who knows? But if that had been Hillary Clinton doing that, sitting there in a restaurant with all people around with the cell phones on, talking about material that could be compromising to our country, oh, they'd be killing her. Because, you see, in this country, we've allowed the GOP to do what it wants, to break the law, while holding the Democrats responsible for every goddamn thing you could imagine. What kind of shit is that, folks? This president, this shithead, this pretender to the throne, is corrupt, incompetent, a fascist, an enemy of our democratic republic and his party too. We have to overthrow this bastard. We have to get him out of here. We have to flush him down the toilet of history and get rid of his cabinet. And here he is in a Watergate moment. What did Trump know? When did he know it? And what did he know about Flynn? Because we're not going to let Flynn alone swing in the wind. We have to bring in other witnesses. We have to get right down to the bottom of it. Investigate it just the way the Republicans would. Investigate, investigate, investigate. And we'll come up with the fact that this piece of shit, this birther turd Trump, is a criminal, a traitor, a Putin puppet. We don't want Putin taking over our country. We don't want him undermining our democratic republic like he's trying to do with everybody else. And I want to know, is Flynngate gonna take down the Putinian candidate? Is this gonna happen? Have we forgotten about Watergate? Haven't we learned our lessons from 9/11 when a president was sleeping? Is Flynngate going to take down the Putinian candidate Trump?